Good morning, everybody. How are you today? I want to take a few moments today to talk about the power of self forgiveness. And like I've mentioned several times, radical self forgiveness is a huge part of the program that I help people work through. Um, and this is a personal story. I was having some challenges um, in one of in a relationship, and it was an ongoing problem that happened actually over a number of years, and things would be okay, and then things would spike up, and then they'd be really bad for a while, and then things would be better, and then things would flare up again, and it was a cycle of messiness. And one day during the course of a conversation, the whole thing happened so spontaneously. I was thinking about, okay, what is my part in this? What am I doing to contribute to the perpetuation of this cycle? And I was really working a lot on my own mental health and my own spirituality at that point. And during the course of a conversation, I meant to say to this person, I forgive you. And what came out of my mouth was, I forgive myself. And the physical, emotional, situational shift that happened was so incredibly powerful. It was obviously something that was uh, that I was working through in my subconscious, in my superconscious, and with this other person energetically. But when the words "I forgive myself" came out of my mouth, and that was in regards to this specific situation, but the effect of it, it was like, I don't know really how else to describe this in a more predictive way. But when someone drops a bomb, and then there's that shock wave that they show in movies, that, okay, there's the initial impact, which I felt, and then there was this wave of energy that pushed a lot of my own emotional blocks, my own shit that I was dealing with. It it blew it wide open, and it rippled and it rippled and it rippled. And still to this day, when I think about how it happened, it has an ongoing ripple effect. And that is the incredible power of forgiving yourself. And forgiving yourself does not just mean, I've made mistakes and I need to make restitution. Forgiving yourself is a return to that space of pure innocence, where the things that have happened or transpired on the outside don't touch that point. And it was it was kind of like, you know, that famous image of man reaching to God and God reaching to man. um, and it was that point where the actual connection happened. It was like those fingertips touching each other, and the movement of energy within my body, which is where we hold our trauma, the movement of energy within my thoughts, my idea of what the situation was, and how drastically that shifted. And it totally changed that relationship, but it also totally changed my relationship to myself and to the work I do. And there is an incredible, incredible power in self forgiveness. And you cannot forgive yourself without automatically forgiving people around you. It is that energy connection, that oneness that people talk about. That was the experience. And forgiveness is that whole I will forgive, but I won't forget. That's still a holding on to. And you might or you might not forget. Our minds, our brains, our information storage machines. And you don't need to necessarily forget to forgive, but you don't, the statement, I will forgive, but I will never forget, is usually I am holding on to this and I will weaponize it if it becomes necessary to do so. And I will hold on to this lesson because I feel I need to protect myself. I'm telling you, when you step into true self forgiveness, it is the realization that who you are at your core, that pure being, there's nothing to forgive. And when that happens, that automatically flows into your other relationships. Doesn't mean there's not stuff that's going to come up in your life that you have to deal with, but I'm telling you, you are dealing with it from such a different place and from such a place of power. And yes, our mind will sometimes try to pull us back down into that, but it's a practice of forgiveness. It's called a practice of forgiveness for a reason, and it's stepping into our own innocence. And when we do that, the innocence of others is automatically recognized. So I encourage you today to ponder what it would feel like. And even if it's just if it's just that you imagine it, what would it feel like to be completely innocent in all situations in your life? Because that is who you are at your core. And the stuff that happens on the surface, yes, sometimes there's things that need to be done to make things right, or to make things right with a person, or to make things right with a family member, or with yourself. But when it comes from that powerful, powerful place of true, authentic love and self forgiveness, and you cannot love yourself until you forgive yourself, and forgiving yourself is recognizing your own purity, your own inherent innocence, your own inherent spark of the divine or of life, or that is within you, that is who you truly are. And as we practice living from that space, situations around us change. And even when they don't change, it does not matter. It truly does not matter, because you are in your power, you are in your purity, you are in your connection with life itself, and it is a life-changing experience. And it's part of the program that I work with my coaching clients. And I encourage you today to start imagining, to start pondering, to start really thinking about what it would be like to live from that point of childlike innocence. But it's not childlike. It is the full blown maturity of who we are as spiritual beings, as sentient beings. And it's childlike in its purity, but it's full grown power that you have never experienced before, unless you've experienced that. And I got to that point with the complete and utter willingness to forgive someone else. But like I said, the words that came up from my heart were, I forgive myself first. And that forgiveness, that was, again, not the intention. My intention was to say, I forgive you. But it was like an atomic bomb of emotional energy, of release, that really showed me for the first time what real forgiveness is, the power of it, the blessing of it. And it was astronomical. It was impactful beyond what I can describe in words. But as I've worked with people and they've started to experience that themselves, it is such a powerful, powerful technique. So think about forgiveness. Think about what forgiveness really means. It's not what we're taught. It's not like you are granting someone a boon even though they're bad. It's not like we've been taught from religion or traditional religion that you are sinful and there is a sacrifice that happens to save you, to forgive you. It's different from that. It is so much more beyond that. It is so much more powerful than that. It is connecting with the source of who you are. And that is my encouragement for you, to start just wondering, to be curious, to be open, to be willing to have that experience. And when it happens, it will rock your world in ways that you can't even begin to imagine. So that's today's message. I truly love you all. Again, it's Murray here, and I am going into this day now, after sharing this message with you, with that renewed sense of who and what I really am, and what I am here to do, and how I can serve you and help you to discover for yourself who and what you truly are. Much love, everybody. Have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.